Am I the asshole for refusing to split rent with my boyfriend? I, female 23, have been dating my boyfriend, Jake, male 23, since our freshman year of college. In our last year of undergrad, we decided to rent an apartment together. We split everything 50-50, including utilities, groceries, and rent. We continued living together in the same town as our college after graduation, but recently, we both got jobs in Chicago and we are currently living downtown. My dad works in real estate, and he has multiple investment properties. My dad generously allowed me to live in one of his properties rent-free, but he said that my boyfriend would have to pay him $400 a month for rent. My dad is very protective, but he has been nothing but kind to my boyfriend. My dad's reasoning for making my boyfriend pay rent is that he wants to be sure that my boyfriend is with me for me, and not because he will have a free place to live. Keep in mind, if my dad was renting this apartment out to tenants, he would charge $2,100 a month for rent. Very ritzy building in the middle of downtown Chicago. My boyfriend is mad at me because he asked me for my half of the $400 for rent, and I explained to him that I will not be paying rent. My dad is only charging him. He says that we have been splitting rent for the past 2 years, so why would we stop now? Our rent in our college town was $1,200, so we were both paying $600 a month. Our apartment in Chicago is significantly nicer and he is paying $200 less a month than what he was in college. Is the idea that my dad doesn't charge me for rent, but charges my boyfriend so crazy? Should I suck it up and pay half because I can afford it? Edit. Jake and I still split utilities and groceries 50-50, and when we go out on date nights, we switch off who pays for it. If he pays 1 week, I'll pay the next. Not the asshole. Rent isn't $400, it's $2,100. Point out that if he wants to split rent, then do so by having your dad charge the full amount, which means his portion is $1,050. Pay your dad that and dad can give it back to you or put it in escrow to save for a future house. The $400 is a major discount for him and dad lets you have it for free. Edit. Thank you all for the awards. Much appreciated. This is exactly what I was thinking. The boyfriend thinks he is entitled to original poster's perks. He is the boyfriend, not even husband. He is not immediate family and the dad is giving him a very good deal already. Don't expect wifey level service at girlfriend prices. Been wanting to marry my girl for a while now so that I can finally hold her hand. Hold her hand? Bro, there's children reading the comments. Not the asshole. A nice ritzy building. Check. Located in downtown. Check. Only $400 per month. Double check. Near your jobs. Check. Getting the family discount from girlfriend's dad. Check. What more does your boyfriend want? Clearly he's not seeing the bigger picture. He's getting a lot of perks because of you and he only has to pay a fraction of the rent. Doesn't he realize that millions don't have that luxury in these critical times of the economy? Plus he's failing miserably with your dad's test. Your dad's suspicions are kinda right. Maybe dad is spot on with his reasoning. Not the asshole op. But depending how hard your boyfriend pushes, this should be a red flag. Dad. Watch this. Then does the little usher move. Not the asshole, but I think your dad might see something in your boyfriend that he's hoping you will soon see. Gold. Thank you for the award. Bingo. Not the asshole. I think your dad just showed a lot of who Jake is. Explain that rent is $2,100 a month, and he is expected to pay $400. You are paying $1,700, but you are receiving support from your family to do so. If he would like to split rent, he is welcome to pay $1,050. Your boyfriend is either 1. Greedy and disingenuous, or 2. Stupid. Either way, it's not attractive. I feel like this is the best approach. It's clear and still gives him the chance to see the situation clearly. Not the asshole. Your boyfriend needs to understand that it's not that you aren't paying rent. Just that your dad is paying your share. Put him in your shoes. If his parents covered his rent, would he be obligated to also cover half of your half? Dad is paying her share and most of BF's share. Like, who wants their partner's parents to pay their way? I'd be so grateful for the vastly subsidized rent and maybe even a little chagrined that I was only paying $400 for the privilege of living in sin with his daughter in a house he owns and still basically pays for. My own sense of pride and independence would have me gladly writing a check for $400 and I'd probably take them to dinner or something. Like, I get uncomfortable when my in-laws visit and pay for every meal. They just recently started letting us pay for the cheapest meal or split an expensive one. I just hate sitting there feeling like a mooch or ordering the least expensive option so I don't appear greedy. Not the asshole. As someone who lived in Chicago for the better part of 10 years, I have a hard time understanding why your boyfriend isn't on his knees level of grateful. 400 anywhere in the city would be a huge deal, but downtown? Is he nuts? Look, do I think your dad's logic is a little screwy and not necessary? Yes. But this is not a hill to die on. Your father is doing you guys one hell of a favor at great expense to himself, no less. Your boyfriend needs to look at the big picture instead of being petty over $200. Why is more important to him that you guys split than it is to save money overall? Like, his choice is not between paging 400 or 200, it's between paying 400 or 1050. Dude. The logic of covering your own child but not someone else? Maybe if they were married it would be different, but they're not, so I see nothing wrong with dad's logic. And I think 2,100 is likely low. If it's a nice building downtown, I'd pay 400 with a huge smile on my face every month. Right, 2,100 seems hella low for that area. Dad. I meant more the idea that he's trying to control for why her boyfriend is with her. But yeah, covering your kid and not someone else is totally reasonable. Not the asshole. It seems your boyfriend is failing your dad's test miserably. Boyfriend should be kissing dad's feet for being so generous. Why are people mad at the dad for the test when they should be mad at the boyfriend for failing the test? Lol. There is no test. The boyfriend is not entitled to benefit from the GF's father's money. It is dad's money, he doesn't owe the boyfriend anything. He is being generous to the boyfriend. They can refuse the apartment. I am sure dad wouldn't hold them to the lease. Gentle, everyone sucks here. This sounds like a really good way to build resentment. You've been together a while, and your dad is still questioning your boyfriend's loyalty. Is there justification for this? Why does anybody think it appropriate for your father to put your boyfriend through some weird litmus test? Do you agree with your dad that your boyfriend's intentions need to be proven by financial control? What is your boyfriend supposed to say here? Is he supposed to be thrilled that your father is treating him like a potential enemy rather than another person who loves his daughter and wants to care for her? I don't think this is really about the money for him, so much as it's insulting to be told the reason he has to pay when you don't is because he's untrustworthy with your heart. So everyone sucks here because, 1. You're an adult and your dad is pitting you against your boyfriend by implying you can't trust his intentions. Rather than have an adult conversation with you, he's manipulating the situation to his favor to test your boyfriend, and quite frankly you should be insulted that he doesn't trust your judgment enough to talk with you about his concerns in a tangible and open way. 2. You think it's perfectly reasonable for your dad to test your boyfriend's loyalty through financial control. 3. Your boyfriend isn't communicating well, focusing on financial equality when the issue is an opinion your father has and his ability to exercise control over your choices and your boyfriend's by offering you something you can't refuse, even when it signals unhealthy behaviors and sets a precedent that your boyfriend may always be challenged and made to feel a need to repeatedly prove himself. There's no such thing as a free ride. Being told to pay rent is a reasonable ask. It's the why here that makes the whole situation gross. It isn't about ensuring responsibility or minimizing financial losses. It's about keeping you and your boyfriend under his thumb. I completely agree. Also, I seem to be in the minority on this, but if this happened to me and my boyfriend, I would offer to split the rent 50-50. And not because my boyfriend would ask, or expect, it of me, but because I myself would want to. I feel that at a certain point in your relationship you just want to support each other. If choosing this apartment was a mutual decision, I would honestly say the rent should be split 50-50. No matter what dad wishes, he doesn't even need to know. Changes it from her apartment where he is allowed to stay if he pays to their apartment. Is a whole different dynamic. Right? I don't have family in a position to do something like this for me, but if I did, and this offer was made to me, I would do a couple of things. 1. I would inform that family member that my so and I are a package unit, and whatever rules apply equally. 2. I would insist upon a lease to protect all parties. 3. I wouldn't accept such a significant decrease in the market rent. 4. The total for all bills will be split as my so and I agree, not as the family member dictates. They don't control our finances, period. Like, a help up is super generous, and kudos to daddy for being able to do this. But if I've been with someone for several years and we're moving cities together after cohabitating for 2 years, we're a partnership, and that means sharing the perks and the burdens of life. I would never accept my family disrespecting my partner by demanding unequal treatment of our partnership, just as I would never accept my partner disrespecting my family by taking advantage of genuine kindness. I heavily question dad's intentions here, because what he's setting up is a situation in which the daughter is best served financially by doing whatever he wants her to do. If she doesn't play by his manipulative rules, he's got ammo to use against her to force her hand. How far does this go? Original poster has already opened the door to allowing her father to control her relationship with her partner. It doesn't get better from here. He's also made it almost impossible for them to consider being financially independent from him. Chicago is expensive and the commutes are crap, and as a landlord he's aware of that. He knows his daughter and her boyfriend couldn't find something this convenient and cheap on their own, and he knows that gives him leverage. Original poster is eating right out of his hand, and while I don't blame her, because damn that's a sweet deal, all deals come with a catch, and I'd bet dollars to donuts the catch here goes well beyond financial manipulation. I agree completely. If dad doesn't like boyfriend, this is a great way to split them up. I really don't understand why original poster would go along with this. They were committed to 50-50 before as a couple, and now that's changed. Boyfriend sees that if original poster can get an advantage for herself, it won't be shared with him. If the boyfriend is truly committed to the relationship, I understand why he's concerned. Original poster, you are the asshole, but even more so, her dad is. So you've lived with this guy for like 2 years paying rent, and your dad is like, I want to make sure he's not just using you. Question mark, question mark. Question mark, question mark. Like he's playing a 5+ year long con just to scam you for an apartment? And you're fine with your dad treating him that way? Your dad is an asshole for that being the reason that he wants rent, and you're definitely bordering on asshole for going along with it. Pay your dad $400 per month in addition to your boyfriend's $400. You can afford it, and that way you can tell your dad to back the fuck off of your relationship and his weird judginess. Yo, it's making me so mad how everyone's downvoted the asshole votes and are telling her that he is just entitled and ungrateful. Like cool, I mean she's already spat on their relationship, she might as well finish it off. Edit. You are the asshole, you and your dad, for changing the fair deal you and your boyfriend had so you could give him some insulting loyalty test, etc. etc. There's a whole paragraph down thread. Not enough information. Was Jake fully aware of this setup when you moved in? If so, why did he think you'd be paying half of the rent? Edited for spelling. She did not communicate it according to other comments she's made, and if the roles were reversed, everyone would be so quick to point out the power imbalance this introduces along with the insecure housing it creates when a fight comes up and the get out of my home shit inevitably gets thrown out. The father has clearly set him up for failure, creating this as a wedge issue to fuck with him and insert himself into their relationship so he can poison the well. Everyone is saying boyfriend failed because it's a sweet deal and he's complaining, but they're missing the point that for them this is a partnership and everyone contributes, or at least that's what the boyfriend was told. For example, my girlfriend and I do proportional on shared expenses than me. She makes X% less than me, she pays X% less on shared bills. This often means I'm paying twice what she pays, though with OT she's often doing much better than that. Regardless, it doesn't matter if it's $50 or $5,000, the point is that we're both contributing. If she makes more than me down the road, guess what? I'll get the same advantage, but I'm not paying zero at any point. If my parents want to do something nice for us, it's for us. The only exception is personal gifts, which are your standard B-Day, Christmas fairs. How someone could think Daddy Dearest letting them live rent-free while charging their boyfriend rent, even if reduced, isn't going to cause friction is beyond me. Quite frankly, it's insulting as fuck, and screams original poster isn't capable of being an adult. She brought a Trojan horse into a relationship that by her accounts seemed stable to please her fucked up paranoid dad. If my dad was renting this apartment out to tenants, he would charge $2,100 a month for rent. My dad said that my boyfriend would have to pay him $400 a month for rent. My boyfriend is mad at me because he asked me for my half of the $400 for rent. Your dad is doing him a favor. Tell your boyfriend he needs to pay half of the $2,100 that he would be paying if it were not for the generosity of your dad, just to see how he reacts. Not the asshole, but your boyfriend is, and I hope he's not usually this much of an asshole. The amount of rent is immaterial to me. This test is stupid because your boyfriend has already proved he isn't there for money by already paying his fair share for years and not expecting you to cover him. Now he's being asked to change this dynamic because your daddy is the landlord. You're 23 now. You have to decide if you're willing to stand up to your father and respect the predetermined dynamic of your relationship, or if you not fronting $200 a month to maintain the agreement is worth torpedoing your otherwise good relationship. Is your boyfriend worth $200 a month to you? I agree 100%. The offer on paper is fair, or even generous, due to the low rent. But it is also pretty insulting for the boyfriend to be tested by his fill and for his girlfriend to say it's fair she should get a better deal. This is a couple who have already proved they could do well by living together, splitting 50-50, including a $1,200 rent, and here they are now fighting over how to split this $400 rent. That's just sad. We broke up over how to pay rent. Oh, because it was too expensive? No, because it was 3 times less than before. What? Not the asshole. Your father is renting you the apartment at a deep 60+% discount. Your half of the rent is being gifted to you by your father, the other half is covered by your boyfriend. Your boyfriend is nothing to your family at this point, since you are neither married nor engaged, and apparently shows no signs of moving in that direction. I don't know why he's only charging your boyfriend $400, though, when half the normal rent would be $1,050 per month. In any case, your boyfriend doesn't sound very grateful that he's getting an incredible deal, or that you're getting so much help from your father, that he's also benefiting from. Her half? More like her 80%. If he wants to split the bills, he can cough up $1,050 for his half, and her half can be covered by the fact that the landlord happens to be her father. Fair is fair. After all, he wants to split the rent down the middle. He wants to be sure that my boyfriend is with me for me, and not because he will have a free place to live. I think you are the asshole for not defending the person you've been with for 5 years against this kind of weird test. Accusation edit. My dad gave me $10,000 to cover this year's rent. B. My dad gave me $10,000 to cover this year's rent. He would have given you $10,000 too, but said he's still not convinced you aren't an asshole. One of these is perfectly fine, the other is a dick move. Seriously, it's insane how many people don't see how insulting it is. I bet if we swap the genders and it was a girl moving in getting hit with a $400 gold digger tax every month, we wouldn't see a single not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your dad is covering your housing. He doesn't want to cover your boyfriend's housing but is giving him an amazing break on the rent. Your boyfriend's attitude is super petty and showing zero appreciation of your dad's generosity.